Hi, my name is Wendy Keeling, and I am the director, producer, and sort of actor for the film Self-Offense. We're screening here at the Asheville Cinema Festival.
What's the story of the project, and what's the message, and what do you hope to get out of showing it at the festival?
Self-Offense is a suspense, kind of a thriller short film about violence against women. And so often we hear these stories and men roll their eyes and they walk out of the room. We wanted to tell it as a suspense to keep people interested in the characters. And we also wanted to tell different stories. We have 4 different women that meet up randomly in a self-defense course, and their stories are very different. Well, not totally different, but they're like your mother, your sister, someone you meet on the street. They're not 20, they're 30, 40, 50, 60, some of them. And the relationships that get them into a situation of violence are a little bit different than what you see on network television. And we just wanted to tell different stories to hit the audience in such a way that they would go, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, oh, so it's not the woman that's walking the street as a hooker. Oh my gosh, it's the secretary. Oh, it's a mother. You know, it's real people. So the message of the film is really to get people engaged in the characters so that they will talk to each other, to me, to anyone, just to talk about the issues. And what's kind of happened is in Q&As and then after the screening, people are telling me their stories. Not just women, men as well. And they're telling me about their family members. And I always cry. I'll probably cry here in just a second. So I feel like it's working. And that was the message we intended to give. And we wanted to do it on a grassroots level. So by actually going to the festivals and having in-person conversations, rather than watching a movie on television or a documentary or a PSA commercial, we're right here, right in the room with you.
How did it start? Like, how did it come to be a project?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. As an actor, I have the pleasure of working with some amazing actresses over the years, and we had met up at the Nashville Film Festival, and we were talking about how there are no roles for over 40 women, and you know, maybe you're the soccer mom and you're just kind of in the background. And I said, well, to heck with that, I'm writing it. And of course, they thought I was crazy. I was working on a set in Kentucky as an assistant director, and I was in a car accident, and it took me down. I was laid out in bed, and I don't know if you've noticed, I don't sit still very well, and so I was kind of bored. And I was laid out in bed. I called up a couple friends of mine, and we wrote the screenplay. And within, I think, 2 months, we started shooting. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but I'm kind of stubborn, and when I want to do something, I make it happen. Honestly, I have these fantastic people that I collaborate with. And when I say collaborate, I mean really, like, we go from screenplay to everything in the same room, in my living room for 12-hour meetings. We do storyboards in our heads. We go through and we think the shots through, because I'm not a shooter. I'm not a shooter. I have a fantastic DP. His name is Alex Hall, and we literally go through it. And when we get to set, we already know what we're doing. Even if something's different, like, you know, you don't know what's going to happen on set. You may need to shoot that way because the lighting's bad. We're able to roll with the punches because we've got it in our head and our communication is good. And that's how I think the whole project went. You know, my actresses, Rebecca Lyons, Carla Cristina Contreras, Susanna Devereaux, Levi Montgomery, who plays the instructor, they're just on it, and they're talented, creative people, and they just bring it to set with them.
How do you budget your projects? How do you make deadlines, you know, timelines? Do you like have a very specific process?
Budgeting as a filmmaker is the hardest part to me, and I'm not great with money anyway, so like having to come up with money to create film is incredibly difficult. I think the way we do it is we sit down and we talk about basically a 3-tiered structure. So what if we have absolutely no money? How do we do it? If we have this amount, and if we had the dream number, and we plan it that way. We literally say what equipment we would use if we had nothing, if we had some, and if we had a lot. So we'll plan it out in a 3-tier structure and go with what we get. As far as raising money, we did 2 Indiegogo campaigns, which were, first one was okay. I think I had asked for too much money, and it was too soon. And then when we wrapped production, we happened to have our pitch at the same time that Indiegogo was doing a women's event. And that skyrocketed us. It took us, I think, $1,500, $1,800 over what we had asked for. So in the end, we raised about $10,000. And what I do with that is, I mean, we basically all kind of worked for free. The money for this film is not so much going into the production as it is going into the marketing, the postcards, the posters, getting us to people. And by the way, the money's already gone. It's gone. It's now in my pocket. But yeah, I mean, you just try and raise what you can to get people interested in your subject matter, to get people on board that want to be a part of your project.
What's your favorite moments in the whole process? What are the stages that you love the most that make it worth it?
For me, some of the most fun times are in the pre-production when we actually kind of gather in my living room and camp out for like 8 to 12 hours, and there's wine or beer or whatever, and we laugh or we cry. We have a new script right now, which is just really, it's just wrong, and it is so much fun. And we will just, I mean, gutter laughs, people spitting things out of their mouths. I mean, it's so fantastic. You know, that's great. I love the casting process, because a lot of the time as an indie filmmaker, I have the luxury to write for people. So I will go through, we'll do some tentative characters, and I'm like, okay, I like this person. Now, we did that with Judy, Judy Jackson, who plays the mother in this, and I love working with Judy, and she's just a riot, and we do let her go, but when we write something, I'll write with her in mind. So we try to write for people that we like to work with.
So what's your least favorite part of the process?
Oh, that's easy. My least favorite thing is money. Let somebody else do that. Let somebody else raise the money. I feel horrible, you know, asking for help. It's just embarrassing. But it's what you have to do, and it's part of the job, and I do not have $1 gazillion to put into it, and so I have to do that. I'm getting better.
If anybody wants to know more about your work or contact you, how can they do it?
I'm kind of all over the place. Like I said, Google me, but easy place to get us. I'm W. Keeling at Twitter, so at W. Keeling. Self-Offense is at Self-Offense. You can find us on Facebook at Self-Offense Film. I am Wendy Keeling on Facebook. Hopefully my picture, you'll know who I am. We have a Self-Offense website. We're all over the place. Just Google us. Please, call me. I want to travel. I want to do more work. If I can answer a question, I'm happy to. If I don't have the answer, I may refer you to somebody that does.